All right. Instructions, got my lucky elk's foot. I got a few candles here. Got my goat's blood. I gotta bring that back home. That's my mom's. I got my hell Bible. Okay, arise. Bring forth what's up and got a burn. Fire extinguisher, just in case.
Do we really have to do this?
Well, the tenant board refused to appeal our eviction, so this might be the only way we could get our apartment back.
Arise. Grant me a word.
You know, there's such a magical chemistry between everybody, and it's not something that you can force or create or aspire to. It just is. When was that apparent? Was that in initial readings together, or has it developed?
I felt like, I mean, it's still developing, but I think we had it from the get-go as well, of like our first sketch that we did at a variety show in the city, in the East End. Our first sketch like got like pretty huge laughs, and like I think it was apparent early on that we had something. I just didn't know what that something was, but I knew there was something, you know? So it took a while to like, I mean, not all that long, but I didn't expect the show to happen as fast as it did.
Tim, I want to ask you about the new season. They only let me see one episode, but it's a hell of an episode. And it goes places that surprised me on a lot of different levels. I think you're really pushing the envelope. Now, what happens? When I was at CTV, I used to have to go through films and things to censor it. And I just feel like I would have been really busy on that.
Yeah, CBC has given us like a lot of free reign to like, you know, kind of push boundaries and like write what we want, and not been too heavy-handed in terms of like censorship in terms of material. So we really went for it. And I love this season because it also feels like a love letter to like Canadian television and CBC itself. We've got a lot of sketch that is almost meditative commentating to being on the CBC and tributes to some of our favorite shows from the CBC in the past.
You said it. And Franco, some of these are digs actually at the Mother Corp. Bring back Kim's Convenience. How embarrassing for them. Trickster. And then Global, hey, that's a good network. This is unheard of in competitive network television. I love it. Bring on more. Can you do that for me?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, next season's going to be called, we're changing our Twitter account to Tallboyz on CTV, just to, we'll close deals with Crave. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I think it's just like when it came to that stuff, it was like, I think Vance wrote the initial draft of the Trickster stuff. And I think, I'll let Vance talk more about it. But I think it was on everyone's minds, and, we're coming into this thing. We always like to, coming from a live performance, you always want to address what's happening in the room, in the moment, just to show that you're present and that you're not just like kind of like this robot. It's like a live thing. And with television, even though it's like recorded, the performance always wants to feel very present, and so the material wants to feel the same way, so it all aligns. And so I kind of like when you do improv, sometimes every so often someone will, because it's at a bar, a glass will drop in the middle of the show, and the audience kind of has this moment where they're like, oh my gosh, like does the show stop? Do the performers realize that a glass just fell? And a lot of them, you'll always see this move, no matter what it is, like the improviser might be holding a phone or like holding a parrot, and they'll just be like, whoa, I dropped my parrot. And then it's like, oh, the audience is like, oh, that's so funny, they incorporated it. Oh, the parrot dropped and it's made of glass. They're so quick. But there's also that element of like, they're not afraid of this blip. They're not afraid of the danger. They're not afraid to acknowledge that moment. And so because they're acknowledging it, I can feel safe because I also see it too. And comedy in some ways is this subtext of like, hey, we're all crazy, and I see the things that you see too. You're not the only person that's seeing this. And I think that's the thing with even the like Trickster and Kim's. It's like this thing that we want to address because it's in the room.
It's so in the room, and nobody's talking about it. Vance, danger is a part of comedy, and you bring these things up so much, and you do anti-government screeds, which are fantastic regarding water, boiling water advisories and other things. Do you feel that you've now got a platform where you can deliver messages with humor, but, with a heck of a blow?
I want to just give credit where credit's due. The Boil Water Advisory sketch was written by Nulu Honda, who wrote the episode of Run the Burbs last night. She's a fantastic writer. So it was a privilege to be able to, work with her on that, of addressing those issues. But I think ever since I was a young kid, I've always just wanted to be a shit disturber. I'm more well informed now, and I have a place to do it. So I don't know. I like talking about that stuff. I like addressing, the little nuances maybe we all overlook when it comes to Indigenous culture or Indigenous being here in Canada. It's a very unique position for people to be in. So I kind of like to talk about that, and shit disturb, be a little trickster myself,
Yeah. Well, and having said that, I mean, just look at the golden era almost. There's so much Indigenous content out there. I've been doing regular film releases for, I think, 3 years now, and that just didn't happen before. It's very encouraging, I'm sure. And it just shows that, and actually, The World Remembers When the Body Broke Open, or The Body Remembers When the World Broke Open, was on TV the other day.
Oh,
I mean, it's a great time. So, and
finally fulfilling those those programming obligations.
Well, there's that, I suppose. Didn't think of that. I love the idea of the pandemic hero coins. And I'd like to know what yours are. I think mine's sugar and fat and salt. But what are you going for?
For me, a man pulling out his hair. That's my pandemic coin. Just a lot of anxiety, but like I can't solve it all.
I know. Really? And Tim, what about you?
I think my pandemic hero coin would be something to over tipping Uber Eats drivers. I can it's like a bit of $20 minimum out of guilt.
Wait, you do $20?
No matter what.
Yeah, mine is the same, but it's a much lower amount. It's 25% at the bakery, and then just kind of walking away, being like, "Man, that's a lot." I just got bread. I picked it up. It was like a very short interaction. Why did I? Yeah, that's part of my coin.
Advance. What's your coin?
I think it's just me and my dog laying with our bellies in the air.
Nice.
Just breathing heavily.
Great image.
Nice. I think there's definitely a coin for that. So I think altogether we're very, very cool on this. And it's just, and you're addressing things, as you were saying, that are very timely, like porch pirates. Who owns which song? That's a big problem in life, and I think the pandemic just brings it all out because we have time to think of it. But there are good sides to the pandemic, and those are we get to think, we get to do nothing. I mean, it's heaven, right?
Some ways, yeah.
Yeah. I don't like doing anything. I love doing nothing.
And it never happens. We're always out driving and going and doing, and now we're under sort of government mandate not to.
Yeah.
Very happy.
It's
happy.
surprising the amount of nothing you can do and such.
Yeah.
It's true that there is 24 hours in a day. I realize that,
You can do a lot of nothing.
And when do you ever wake up and know what day it is? I think
It's my favorite to not really mourn the before times.
I know.
That's all I'm doing with
Let's
all
be
my
on
nothing
it.
time.
Who's on board with that?
Oh, Lord of the, yeah.
Yeah, see, it's cool. It's very cool. So I hope you guys will stick around and become one of those CBC comedy series that just lasts for decades. I just think you've got a great thing going. And I appreciate all your efforts and your interactions and your chemistry. I love it all. So please keep going. And thank you so much. And best of luck on season 3.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Dan.
you.
It's been
Thank you
great
for
talking to
figuring out the
you.
internet
Should like
thing.
me.
Sorry for all the stress about that.
All right. Instructions. Got my lucky elk's foot. I got a few candles here. Got my goat's blood. I got to bring that back home. That's my mom's. I got my hell Bible. Okay. Arise. Bring forth what's up and got a burn. Fire extinguisher just in case.
Do we really have to do this?
Well, the tenant board refused to appeal our eviction. So this might be the only way we could get our apartment back.
Arise. Grant me a word.
Who has summoned me?
I did. You look familiar.
I'm the devil. I come to people in many forms.
No, I've seen you before. Were you on TV?
Yeah. Aren't you on that iconic, groundbreaking family sitcom?
Yeah, Train 48.
Wait, you watched that?
Yeah, it was on every day. It was on
Phenomenal.
Global. That's a great network.
I thought you'd sound different.
Did you expect me to have an accent?
Do
Do you want me to sound like this? Okay? Look, I'm busy. What do you want?
Well, I want you to bring back Trickster on CBC.
Ooh, that's a complicated ask.
But I didn't get to see it.
Well, I mean, you could always just watch it on the CBC Gem app for free.
It's Canada's Netflix.
Why don't you just read the Trickster books?
Representation isn't as fun when I have to imagine it.
Devil, I'd like to make a deal.
Bring back Kim's Convenience?
Really?
No. Ask for our apartment back, you racist.
Yeah, you're racist?
Racist!
Sure, you can have your apartment back in exchange for your soul.
Specifically me? Why not Vance? He summoned you.
Because you're the purest, and I already own Vance's soul.
I wanted to learn how to play ukulele. It was really hot in 2016.
Yep.
Fine. Give us our apartment back.
Okie dokie.
What happened?
Was it all a dream?
Did I fall asleep reading Word Up magazine?
Guys, it worked. We got our apartment back.
Everything seems normal. I thought we might run into one of those ironic monkey paw situations.
Hello, boys. I'm your new landlord.
You have to give us 24-hour notice before you enter the premises.
Sorry.
Yeah.